Hello. Alright. We are... excuse me. This is day 66. And I am just... sorry, I'm still digesting and walking at the same time. I just had beans and ham. It was a special at the local gas station in Francisco, Indiana, sometimes called Frisco, Indiana. Small town on the way from Oakland City to Princeton. Short day today, 12 miles. As you can see by, well, I don't know if you can see, but if you don't see my other half for the trip, he is at the... I had somebody offered to take him to the vet for me today up in Princeton. The woman who runs the hotel where we stayed at last night, Margot, just was really helpful in taking him. Nothing serious, just to check up, and he's had a couple runny stools, so I just wanted to make sure. He got into some dirty water a couple days ago on accident, and so some things checked out just to make sure. But it's hot. But, alright, this arm thing is hurting. Here we go. You're going to get the exciting flavor of Frisco. So yeah, it was a good night last night. It was good to rest. Talked to a few people just outside of Oakland City. Had a great time just connecting with the guy who was staying next to us, actually, a biker who takes a lot of his spare time to just bike around and travel and see people from his college days, so that was cool to talk to him for a little bit. It's been funny. I had a great email from somebody who's been following the trip, encouraging me to process just more on video, or not necessarily to make it public, but just so I can capture some of my thoughts more, which I think is good. I'm writing a lot of this stuff down, but I definitely miss days and thoughts and things, and so I'm going to work on that. Try and go back to the arm here. Yeah, so I don't know. This morning as I was walking, I've just been thinking a lot of. I've been asked a lot this trip. What do I believe? What's my faith? How do I, and I think from the initial context of how do I carry myself, or how do I get myself through these tough days? And I'm sure there's other motives too from some of the more aggressive people who stop and ask, "So are you saved?" Which is cool. I mean, I'm not against that at all necessarily, but it's just fun to interact with different people. To answer that question, I mean, it's been quite a journey for me, and I think a lot about just, I think I'm finding that I'm answering that question as a loose, open-minded, continuing the conversation Christian. There's no doubt that the story, life, and words and power of a trust or a faith in Jesus, and trying to learn about life from his teachings and a lot from the Bible it's just been profound for me, and it's carried some heavy weight just in how I shape my thoughts and look at life and just how I interact with people and how I interact with myself, just on all levels. And so it's wonderful to connect with other Christians on this trip, and to equally, understand each other from the context of the life of Jesus and what love looks like on a greater level. And had a conversation with I stayed with the pastor on Monday night, and we were talking about he was frustrated with kind of the buffet lines of spirituality, where people can just choose what fits for them. And I don't know. I mean, I think that's why I sometimes stress continuing the conversation, because I'm in a spiritual place where, you know, I think Christianity, faith, life, love is so much bigger than how we define it and how we can control it or box it up or label it. And you know, maybe that's a stage, but it truly is the realest place for me, especially on this walk. You know, people do and act and think and process and cope in such different ways. You know, you peel back a few layers and people are people, and you know, we crave and desire the same things, and love seems to be the central theme. You know, I've definitely seen and recognized a lot of the strict denominations of Christianity, and seen just a lot of that. And you know, I respect, you know, people for where they're at and for what they're going through, and but it makes it, you know, very real to me just how I think spiritually hungry we all are, and how limiting that can be when, you know, when we do separate and control and try and keep things a certain way. I think continuing the conversation in faith and in love, and I think to be open to people who are investing in other religions, and to be open who are, I mean, I think this is a time where Republicans, Democrats, Jewish, Buddhists, Hindu,